Dear Counsel, please be advised the above entitled case has been assigned to Judge William Hauser of Kitsap County Superior Court. The hearing that is scheduled for March 16, 2020 at 9 a.m. will take place before Judge William Hauser at Pierce County Superior Court in a courtroom to be determined. Please note that all pretrial hearings, except for the March 16, 2020 hearing, will be heard before Judge Hauser in Port Orchard. Should this case proceed to trial, then trial will be held at Pierce County Superior Court in Tacoma, Washington. You may contact Kyle Gallagher, law clerk for Judge Hauser, at kgallagher@co.kitsap.wa.us should you need to coordinate a date and time to schedule motions or to schedule a status conference. Confirm all pretrial hearings with Mr. Gallagher in accordance with Pierce and Kitsap County local court rules. All original pleadings and notes for motion or assignment dockets are to be filed with the Pierce County Clerk's Office. As Judge Hauser has agreed to retain this case, you may now send any courtesy working copies directly to Judge Hauser at Kitsap County Superior Court, 614 Division Street, MS 24, Port Orchard, Washington, 98366-4683. In the meantime, I will forward any bench copies in my possession to Judge Hauser. Sincerely, Christina Platt.
In the Superior Court of the State of Washington, in and for Pierce County. Declaration of Brian Green in support of withdrawal. Declaration to support inconsistencies in court proceedings. I, Brian Green, am over the age of 18, have personal knowledge of all the facts stated herein, and declare as follows. 1. I am one of the named defendants in this above entitled lawsuit. 2. I support my attorney Joseph Thomas withdrawing from this lawsuit because no one can defend it. With the arbitrary and capricious procedural nature of this lawsuit, it is impossible for me or anyone else to receive a meaningful hearing from this court. 3. I cannot even look at the court record for explanations of the arbitrary and capricious rulings by this court because the court record is incomplete. For example, the court record is absent of an order authorizing a visiting judge. With no official order in the court record, there is no law or authority authorizing a visiting judge. Because the court record is absent of an order regarding a visiting judge, neither I nor the public have any idea of what is going on with a visiting judge. 4. I do not know which court rules apply to this proceeding. On February 7, 2020, Pierce County Superior Court Clerk Christina Platt wrote a letter to the parties in this above entitled lawsuit and stated, all pretrial hearings except for the March 16, 2020 hearing will be heard before Judge House in Port Orchard. Confirm all pretrial hearings with Mr. Gallagher in accordance with Pierce and Kitsap County local court rules. See docket letter from Pierce County Superior Court Administration, February 7, 2020. Now there are competing sets of local court rules on every subject in civil procedure, including but not limited to motions, discovery, hearings, etc. It has been 3 weeks to the day since this letter was sent by Court Clerk Platt, and no steps have been taken to clarify the letter. I do not know how any reasonable person could know which set of competing local court rules apply. 5. I am being denied my due process rights under the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution because this court has repeatedly refused to consider and rule on my objections. My attorney has repeatedly made oral written objections on my behalf in this proceeding. See docket objections January 23, 2020, docket objections January 28, 2020, docket objections February 3, 2020, docket objections February 4, 2020. To this date, this court has refused to rule on any of my written or oral objections. By refusing to rule on my objections, the court is signaling that it has no interest considering or correcting any of its error. No one can receive a fair hearing when this court will not even consider timely and valid objections. 6. I am being denied my due process rights under the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution when a judge who has submitted a written recusal in the court record continues to make decisions affecting the outcome of this lawsuit. On December 17, 2019, Pierce County Superior Court Judge Brian Chuskoff recused himself from this above entitled lawsuit for an apparent conflict of interest. See docket reassigned to Department December 18, 2019. Then on February 7, 2020, Pierce County Superior Court Clerk Christina Platt wrote a letter to the parties in this above entitled lawsuit about pretrial practices and court rules and carbon copied Judge Brian Chuskoff. See docket letter from Pierce County Superior Court Administration, February 7, 2020. When Judge Chuskoff recused himself, he admitted that he could no longer be a neutral arbiter in this lawsuit. Since he is not neutral, he should be walled off from any communications about this case. I demand that Judge Chuskoff explain why he is continuing to receive communications about this lawsuit after he recused himself. 7. Since this lawsuit has veered so far from the acceptable realm of the administration of justice, I can no longer defend myself in this litigation. The court record is inadequate. I do not know which court rules apply to this proceeding. This court has refused to consider and rule on my objections, and judges who have recused themselves are still making decisions in this lawsuit. I am preserving my right to appeal.